Good morning, students. My name is CHSV Prasad Rao, and I am working as senior lecturer in electrical department in Government Polytechnic, Yadgirgutta. Today, we will continue the lesson AC motors. In that AC motors, we will start the chapter. Continue the already we running the chapter synchronous motor, and we will continue the same chapter 1 synchronous motor. So in the last class we derived the power equation for synchronous motor. As we know, the synchronous motor is a machine which operates at runs at synchronous speed only. That means either it will run at synchronous speed or the motor will stop. So last class we derived the formula that is the power equation and how it depend on what parameters it depends. So that is, suppose if you apply the load on the motor, it will bear the load and continue to run in the same speed. So that is synchronous speed until it bears the load. If it is not possible to bear the load, the motor comes out of the synchronism and the motor stops. And the motor stops. So that means the motor can bear the load up to maximum extent. At what extent it can bear, and it will run on the synchronous speed only. Otherwise, it will stop. How it will bear the load means, as we derived in the power equation, the power depends on the, that is the mechanical power developed. What is the input we are giving to the synchronous motor? We are giving a electrical power input, that is root 3 VLIL cos phi. So that is the input power. So from this input power, some power is wasted in the form of a stator copper losses. So that is Ia square Ra, where Ia is the armature current and Ra is the armature resistance. So the remaining power is available on the mechanical power. That is the thing we derived in the last class. By seeing the power equation also, you can understand that the mechanical power developed at the armature is depend on the value of alpha also, that is load angle or coupling angle. So then what happens if the load increases? If the load increases, the alpha value increases, that is load angle or coupling angle. So when alpha increases, simultaneously back EMF EB also increases. When back EMF EB increases, the armature current drawn from the supply also increases. When Ia increases, the torque depends on the armature current. So torque also increases. How much percentage it increases? It increases such a percentage it bears the applied extra load on the motor. So extra load on the motor. Extra load on the motor. So likewise, if you apply some more load, again alpha value increases and back EMF EB increases. When EB increases, IA increases. When IA increases, the power drawn from the supply, that is the shaft torque, also increases. This supplies the additional load which is applied on the motor. Likewise, until what extent the alpha will increases means, that is at what extent the motor will bear the load, that means until the alpha value reaches the maximum value, that is 90 degrees. When the motor reaches when the motor reaches 90 degrees, that is load angle or coupling angle. When the load angle or coupling angle reaches to a maximum value 90 degrees, up to at that extent the motor will bear the load, and after that the motor is not possible to bear the load. So bear the load. So at that point, the power developed, at that point, the power developed is called the maximum power developed. The maximum power. So the maximum power is alpha is equal to 90 degrees. So that is the load which can bear by the motor. So that power is called pull out torque. After alpha, that is when the alpha angle is 90 degrees, till then the motor bears the load and the motor runs under synchronism. So beyond this 90 degrees, alpha is equal 90 degrees. Beyond that 90 degrees, the motor comes out from the synchronism and the motor stops. So that torque is called pull-out torque, and the power developed at that instant is called maximum power. We derived the condition also, maximum power. At what instant the power is maximum, and what is the maximum power? Last class we derived, and we noted the torques also. The torque which is developed at the time of starting is called starting torque. The power developed in running condition is called running torque. The torque developed at the time of pull-in, that is motor pulled into synchronism, that is the stator and the rotor poles magnetically locked each other, that is called pull-in torque. And when the motor comes out from the synchronism, that is called pull-out torque. So we derived the condition for pull-out torque, that is the maximum power the motor can bear. So beyond that, it is not possible to bear any load after that maximum power and maximum condition. So we done some problems also last class on that one, that is the power developed and the maximum power developed. So today we will cover different talks of synchronous motor and problem on this one. So that is calculation of torque of synchronous motor and problems on that. So different torques. So what is the torque we have available at the motor? Here in synchronous motor, as I told earlier also, we have four types of torques. We have four types of torques. Suppose if the motor is connected to the supply, at the time the torque available is called starting torque, is called starting torque. So what is definition? It is the torque developed by the motor when the rated voltage at rated frequency is applied to its stator winding is called starting torque. That is, at the time of starting, this torque is used to start the motor at the time of starting. So, because of this torque, the motor starts developing rotating magnetic field and the rotor rotates. And next torque is running torque. So it is the developed, it is the torque developed by the motor under normal running condition. So it is determined by the power rating and speed of the machine. So when the motor starts running, at that time the torque available is called running torque. So pull in torque, as I told, the synchronous motor will run at synchronism, that is the synchronous speed, or run at synchronous speed, or the motor stops. So how the motor will run at synchronous speed? When the stator and the rotor. So, okay, before this one, you write this, what is starting torque and running torque, the definitions he will give for uh, 2 marks or 3 marks. Note down both starting torque and running torque. Okay, next, pull in torque. So that is when the motor pulls into synchronism. When the motor pulls into synchronism, that is the stator poles and the rotor poles and stator magnetic poles magnetic lock each other. That means both will get magnetically locked each other, both the stator and the rotor. That is called pull in torque. That is both are pulled into synchronism, both stator and the rotor. So at that time, that is when both get magnetic locked, stator teeth and the rotor magnetic stator poles and the rotor poles and stator magnetic locked each other and runs at synchronous speed. So when they are magnetic locked means, then what happens when the stator is rotating at a synchronous speed? Then what happens when as it is magnetically locked, the rotor poles also starts rotating at synchronous speed. This is called pull-in torque. That is, both are rotor is pulled into synchronism and runs at synchronism only. This is called pull-in torque. Until what extent it will run at synchronous speed? Until the motor bears the load. Suppose if you apply the load, the motor bears, it will runs at synchronous speed. And then you applied some more load, then also motor bears the load and runs in the synchronism. So likewise, until what extent? Until the alpha load angle, that is the axis of rotor pole and the stator magnetic pole, they comes, the angle is that is called load angle or alpha. That is reaches up to 90 degrees. After reaching 90 degrees, if it increases, If the load increases, then the motor comes out of the synchronism, that is, it breaks the magnetic locking and the motor stops. So at the time, the torque available is called full out torque. So when the alpha is 90 degrees, at that time, the torque available is called maximum torque. So it is called, so it is a maximum torque which a synchronous motor can develop without pulling out of synchronism. That is, without coming out of from synchronism, the motor bears the load is called pull out torque. So that means it is the maximum torque which a synchronous motor can develop without pulling out of synchronism is called pull out torque. Note down this one, pull out torque also, pull out torque and pull in torque definitions. Okay, these are the four torques. Starting torque, running torque, starting torque, running torque, pull in torque, and pull out torque. So let us do problems on this one. So what he given? He given the synchronous reactance per phase of a three-phase star connected 6,600 volts synchronous motor is 10 ohms for a certain load. The input is 900 kilowatts and the line EMF is 8,900 volts. Calculate the line current. Note down the problem. First, you read the problem whenever he given the problem. You read carefully and understand what he given and what we have to calculate. So here, what he given? He given a synchronous reactance per phase, that is XS of a three-phase star connected is 10 ohms. So XS is equal, he given 10 ohms and given connected to a 6,600 ohms. So what is this one? This is the supply voltage, that is line voltage. And the input power also he given, that is 9,000 kilowatts. What is the input power? So that is root 3 VL IL cos pi. So that is equal to 9,000 kilowatts. And induced EMF, this is also line value, that is 8,900 volts, and we have to calculate the line current. So he given VL. So as it is a star, we have to convert this line voltage into phase voltage, and given synchronous reactance, that is 10 ohms, and given the input power, that is root 3 VL IL cos pi, so that is 900 kilowatts, and induced EMF EB, that is also line, that is 8,900 volts. This one also convert this into phase, and next we have to calculate the line current. Note down this problem and write the given data. Given data also you write. Note down the problem and write the given data so that it will be practice as we done so many problems still now, and given assignment also 3 problems. You have to practice that one also. If you practice more problems, it is very easy to understand and do the problems in examination. So you have noted the problems. So first you write the given data. So he given three-phase star connected synchronous motor, and he given supply voltage VL is equal 6600 volts, and phase value is, so what is the phase value? VPH is equal to VL by root 3. So that is 6600 by root 3. That is equal to 3810 volts. Convert this into phase value. So as I told, each value back EMF also we have to convert this into phase value. So induced EMF EB, that is 8900 volts. Convert this into phase. So that is EB by root 3, that is 8900 by root 3, that is 5138.42 volts, and given input, that is 9000 kilowatts. Input is root 3 VLIL cos phi, and given synchronous reactance Xs is equal to 10 ohms per phase. So the input power per phase, this one also convert this into phase. So by 3, this is per phase power is 300 kilowatts. And he given reactance. Here resistance, armature resistance is not given. So we have to assume here armature resistance is neglected. Otherwise, you can assume here, you can do the problems in two way. One thing is you neglect and assume armature resistance value RA as 0 ohms, and next one is you assume the armature resistance value as 0.1 ohm and do the problem. So any method you can. Here we neglected, that is RA we assumed 0 value. So Z, that is synchronous impedance, is equal to synchronous reactance, that is 10 ohms per phase. So what is the power we have? So the power is equal to VEB by Xs into sine alpha. So V is the supply voltage, EB is the generated EMF, Xs is the synchronous reactance, and alpha is the load angle or coupling angle. P is the power input. So convert all these values into per phase value. Already we converted, that is P is 3000 kilowatts, that is 3000 into 10 to the power of minus 3 is equal to voltage 3810 into EB 5138.42 into alpha value we don't know, put it as alpha by 10. This is one equation and one variable, that is sine alpha. From this, sine alpha is equal to 0.1532. So to get the alpha value, alpha is equal to sine inverse of 0.153. If you put the sine inverse of this 0.1532, then we can get a load angle, that is 8.81 degrees. So resultant EMF per phase ER is equal. We have the formula, that is square root of V square plus EB square minus 2 into V EB cos alpha. So we know the call alpha value we know, V value we know, V value we know, EB value we know, and we know alpha value. So we can calculate ER value directly. So ER is equal, substitute these values, V is equal 3810.5 whole square plus EB, that is 5138.43 square minus 2 into V again, that is 3810.51 into EB. EB value is per phase value, that is 5138.42 into cos alpha, that is cos of 8.81 degrees. So the resultant value is 1491.44 volts. So this is which value, line value or phase value? Yes, you are right. This is phase value. So what is it? Resultant ER, that is I into ZS. I into ZS. So from this IA is equal ER by ZS. ER is resultant EMF. This is this one, and ZS is the synchronous reactance. So that is equal 1491.77 divided by 10. So we will get 149.12 amps. This is what per phase value. To convert this into line value, we have to, as it is a star connection, which connection, this is star or delta? Star. So in star, both the line current and phase currents are equal. So that is 149.12 amps. So for star connection, both are equal. Line value, phase value are equal. So it is a simple problem, only formula substitution. I hope you understand. Note down this. Formula ER IA, and that is equal to phase current. So that is 149 amps. So note down the next problem. So what is the next problem? A 6600 volts star connected 3-phase synchronous motor works at constant voltage and constant excitation. So what is this means of constant excitation? That means excitation is not changed. So if you change the excitation, what happens? If excitation is changes, then the power factor of the synchronous motor changes. That is, if it is a normal excitation, then it is, then the power factor is unity power factor. Suppose it is under excitation, then the power factor is lagging power factor. If it is over excitation, then it is leading power factor. So over excitation, it is EB is greater than V. Under excitation, EB is less than V. Normal excitation, EB is equal to V. So synchronous reactance is, he given synchronous reactance also. What is that one? That is 0 plus J 20 ohms, where 0 is the armature resistance and Xs is the synchronous reactance. When the input is 1000 kilowatts, he given the input also 1000 kilowatt, that is root 3 VLIL cos pi, and he given power factor also, that is 0.8 leading. Find the power factor when the input is increased to 1500 kilowatts. This is good problem. This is somewhat a tricky problem. If you understand, it is easy. So here he given at one condition excitation is same. So that means the same power factor here also, and that is leading only. But the input is increased here. So why the input is increased? It is drawing, load is increased. So the synchronous reactance is same and input voltage is same. The output is increased from 1000 kilowatts to 1500 kilowatts. So we have to calculate the power factor at this new input. Okay, note down the problem and write the given data also. So he given a star connected three-phase synchronous motor and he given supply voltage, that is VL is equal to 6600 volts. As it is star, convert this into phase value. So VPH is equal to VL by root 3 and given synchronous reactance, that is 0 plus J, that is XS is equal to 20 ohms. Synchronous reactance is denoted with XS. So XS is equal to 20 ohms and the input he given as 1000 kilowatts, that is root 3 VLIL cos phi is equal to 1000 kilowatts and given the power factor cos phi is equal to 0.8 leading. Find the power factor when the input is increased to 1500 kilowatts. This is the new input. Note down the problem. So note down the problem. This is somewhat different problem. And here he given a three phase star connected synchronous motor. Star connected synchronous motor. So what is the supply voltage he given? That is VL is equal to 6600 volts. Convert this into phase value. So VPH is equal to VL by root 3, that is 6600 by root 3, that is 3811 volts. 6111 volts. Next, he given power factor, that is cos pi is equal to 0.8 leading. And what is the pi? Pi is equal to cos inverse of 0.8. That gives a value of 36.87 degrees. And this is the, and what is the impedance he given? Impedance he given as J plus J20. J20. So that is impedance of J20. So XS is equal to 20 and impedance also 20. This is the vector diagram. Where as we told, it is the leading, pi is leading. So the armature current IA leads the supply voltage. So it is coming upper above the V axis. Why? Because it is leading. If it is lagging, it comes below the vector V, where theta is the angle between ER and IA. So if you require ER, it is a vector sum of EB and V, that will gives ER. So here impedance has given like this, 0 plus J20 means 0 is the RA, armature resistance is 0, and XS is equal to 20 ohms, which is nothing but a ZS. So if you put the angle, that is theta is equal to internal angle, and it is a constant. Why? Because it depends on the circuit parameters, that is armature resistance and synchronous reactance Xs. So theta is equal tan inverse of Xs by Ra, that is 20 by 0. So that is 90 degrees. So that means this angle is 90. So theta plus pi is equal to 90 degrees plus 36.87 degrees. So that is equal 126.87 degrees. Note down the figure also. So that means the angle. What is the theta plus pi? That is the angle between ER and V. So what is the angle between ER and V? Both theta and pi. That is 126.87 degrees. So that is useful for doing the problem. So he given motor input P is equal to 1000 kilowatts. So which is equal to root 3 into VL IL cos phi. So here we know VL is there, cos phi is there. So power also he given. So we can calculate the line current, that is IL. So IL is equal to P by root 3 VL cos phi. So that is power is 1000 kilowatts by root 3 into VL, that is 6600 volts, and power factor is zero point 0.8. That gives the line current. So that is 109.35 amps. So as it is a star connection, line current is equal to phase current. So IL is equal to IPH, that is 109.35 amps. Note down this power. From this power we can calculate the line current. IL is equal to P by root 3 VL into cos phi. So from this we can calculate the line current. Phase line current is equal to phase current. Why? Because it is a star connection. So that is 109.35 amps. So impedance drop ER is equal to, here we have to write ER is equal to square root of V square plus EB square minus 2 into V into EB cos alpha, where alpha is the load angle or coupling angle. We have ER is there, V is there, EB also we know. So we can calculate alpha, where alpha is the both combination of theta plus pi. So from this we can calculate ER value. So that is square root of V square, that is 3811 volts. Back EMF EB is equal to 2187 minus 2 into 3811 into back EMF EB 2187 into cos of 126.87 degrees. So that is 5414 volts. This is the resultant EMF, that is ER. So ER we calculated. So next what he given, we have to calculate the current power factor at a new load. What is the new load? He given the input as 1500 kilowatts. The input is increased by how much? 500 watts. So that is 1000 plus 500. So that is 1500 kilowatts. So as a given constant excitation, excitation is constant. So back EMF EB is constant. So why? Because input is constant means excitation is constant. That is back EMF is constant. So EB is same value. So he given the input power that is 1500 kilowatts. So power input is equal to V into EB sine alpha by XS, where V is equal to supply voltage per phase, EB is equal to back EMF per phase sine alpha by XS. XS is equal to synchronous reactance. So substitute values in this one. P is equal to 1500 kilowatts, V and EB values. So then P value is 1500 kilowatts, P value 1500 kilowatt, that is into 10 to the power of 3. V value per phase 3811 and EB value that is 5414 into alpha value we don't know. So sine alpha by XS 20. So from this we can calculate the alpha value. What is that alpha value? That is 29.09. So sine alpha is equal 0.485. So what is alpha? How you can get alpha is equal sine inverse of 0.485. Then it will gives the alpha value, that is alpha is equal to 29.01 degrees. So this is new alpha value for new input, that is 1500 kilowatts. Alpha value calculated. From this alpha value we can calculate the new ER value. ER, so I think it is overlapped when I am doing the typing and doing a page adjustment. So here you note down clearly ER is equal square root of V square plus EB square minus 2V EB cos alpha. I am repeating once again. Why? Because when I am doing this page adjustment, it is overlapped both. So ER is equal to square root of V square plus EB square minus 2V EB cos alpha. We know all values. We know V value, we know EB value, and we know alpha value, where V is equal to 3811. So that is square plus 5414 square minus 2 into V, that is 3811 into 5440 into cos alpha, that is 29.01 degrees, which gives ER value as 2783.34 volts. So which is nothing but a phase value, ER per phase. So what is the ER value? ER is equal to IA into ZS. So armature current IA is equal to ER by ZS. What is ER value? Just now we calculated, that is 2783.34. ZS is 20. So armature current is equal to 139.17 A. So power factor cos alpha is equal to EB sin alpha by IA by ZS. So EB value we know that is 5414 sin of alpha This is also we calculated 29.01 degrees divided by RA, that is 139.17 divided by 20. From this we can get power factor, that is 0.943 degrees leading. This is the new power factor. This is simple. Some logic, small logic will be there. We have to understand. When you are, if you do understand, do the problem. This problem is a simple one only. Okay, this is only extra condition he given when the input is increased to 1500 kilowatts and keeping the excitation as constant. So he told to calculate the new power factor for 1500 kilowatts. So when the when the input is increased from 1000 kilowatts to 1500 kilowatts, then the new power factor is 0.943 degrees leading. So what we studied in this class, we derived the, so we know the different types of torques. So what are the torques we have? We have four torques. First one is starting torque, which is available at the time of starting, and pull-in torque, that is when the motor pulls into synchronism, that is when the rotor poles and the stator magnetic poles get locked each other and starts rotating at synchronous speed. At the time the torque available is called pull-in torque. And next, third one is running torque. The torque available at the time of running condition is called running torque. And fourth one, pull-out torque. The pull-out torque is the torque when the motor pulls out from the synchronism. That is when the locking between stator and rotor and the stator magnet poles is break. That is called pull-out torque. So that is four torques: starting torque, pull-in torque, running torque, pull-out torque. So different torques we studied and problems on that one. We done two problems. Practice that one. If you have any doubt, ask me in the next class. So what he will ask, frequently asked is explain the different torques in synchronous motor. So that is starting torque, running torque, pull-in torque, pull-out torque. And this is one problem. Just now what I be done in the last second problem. A 6600 volts star connected three phase synchronous motor works at constant voltage and constant excitation. Its synchronous impedance reactance is J plus 0 plus J20 ohms per phase. When the input is 1000 kilowatts, the power factor is 0.8 lagging. Find the power factor when the input is increased to 1500 kilowatts. We done this problem just now. Practice that one. If you have any doubt, ask me in the next class. Okay. Thank you.